Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to the Media Row podcast with me, Justin Miller. Thank you to our sponsor in Kelly's Little Nipper. Go check them out at 1701 East Grand Avenue in Des Moines. And when you do, make sure to tell them that Media Row sent you. A big show today. Really excited about this show. Always excited about these shows, but whenever we get a guest on, it does have a different feeling. And today, our guest has racked up some incredible stats in a Drake uniform. 23 points per game this season, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, averaged 50% from the field, had 3 40-plus point games, 11 30-plus point games, won Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year in 2 straight seasons, and was an All-American honorable mention. Yes, we are talking about Katie Dinnebier. Katie Dinnebier has been incredible since she stepped on the floor as a freshman and has somehow just raised the standard for her seasons year after year. And it got to the point where people were sitting around wondering around January, February, man, she may have an absolute shot to go to the WNBA draft. She could make a career being this hard-nosed basketball player Des Moines and Drake Bulldog fans love. And, you know, we talked about it a few times on our show when we would recap Drake women's games, preview games. But she puts out a Instagram post and a Twitter post saying that she's made her decision that she's picking school over the WNBA. And Tommy Birch did a article on it on the Des Moines Register. I know Channel 8 did a story on it, so I annoyed her as well to get her on Media Row to talk about it. And it's a full circle moment. Katie and I were laughing before we clicked record because when I was a junior at Drake, she was a freshman, and I was in this TV news class. And whenever I was in those classes and the projects were kind of like, hey, go out and find your stories, I did nothing but sports stories. And teachers would be like, hey, you gotta broaden your horizons. And I'd be like, okay, next one, I'll just do another sports story. And so I had just done a feature article on DJ Wilkins and his rehab throughout the summer, put it out on the iHeart website and put it out at Drake as well. And so he was the very first person and athlete I talked to at Drake. But then a month or two, Katie Dinnebier is the freshman and women's basketball getting ready to get started. So I sat down with her and Anna Miller and didn't even click record at the start. And we just shot hoops and chit chat for a while. And then I started recording. I found that video and it's awful. I mean, Katie's great. It's edited so poorly. It's bad. Like how I passed that class. I don't know if they just wanted to get rid of me, but we were laughing about it because like I had this vision for a cool shot. We'd start with going up from half court and it's Katie dribbling, doing, dribble practice moves. And it's crooked. It's like on a tilt, but she's always been great and always been willing to help me with whatever it was, if it was a dumb school project or if it's a podcast like I'm doing right now. So I always appreciated her, always was easy to cheer for, and that entire squad was easy to cheer for, but felt like this was a perfect opportunity to catch up with Katie and discuss her decision to not go to the WNBA and stick around and finish out her schoolwork at Drake University. So without further ado, time to get to our interview with star point guard and someone who I believe will have their number up in the rafters at someday in the Knapp Center, Katie Dinnebier. I mean, the first question is clear. Everyone's asked you about it. We were joking about how I think Tommy did a story on you. Jeff from Channel 8's doing a story on you. But just go into your decision for, not deciding to pursue the WNBA, sticking in school, and just how did you come to that decision?
Yeah, honestly, it was a really hard decision. It took a lot of going back and forth. I'm terrible at making decisions as is. So, this being a really big life decision, it took me a while, and I leaned on my family, on our coaching staff, on all my close friends for help. But ultimately, I love school. I'm a nerd. I have always wanted to be a doctor. That's been a goal of mine since I was a little girl. And really, that's what I want to do with my life. And I love basketball and I've loved the opportunities that I've gotten through basketball. I don't think I'd be the person that I am today without the highs and lows of basketball and being a collegiate athlete, especially through my time at Drake. But everyone has to retire at some point, and this to me just seems like it's the end of my journey with being a competitive athlete. And it's bittersweet for sure, but I'm definitely excited for the next chapter as well.
So you said it took you a while. When did you come to this conclusion? How long did it take you to come to this conclusion?
Until Saturday. And you had to decide if you were declaring for the draft by the 31st. So, I mean, I took my time. I really took my time, and it was a really hard decision. It was a really hard decision, and kind of started going back and forth in January when I realized it would actually be an opportunity for me to go play. And I kept putting it off. I was like, oh, I got 2 more weeks. Oh, 2 more weeks. I don't need to think about it. And I really didn't want to think about it during the season while we were still playing. I wanted to be 100% present in our season and be able to enjoy the moments with my teammates. So really tried to put it off as long as I could. And then it got down to a week. And I was like, oh, I'm running out of time. And then I had to make some decisions kind of fast there at the end. But yeah, I used all the time that I could to make that decision.
I can't believe you're treating going to the WNBA like a essay paper. You're like, oh, I got a few weeks.
Yeah,
Got a few weeks.
a few
Oh,
more
night
weeks.
before.
Yeah, right.
But with that decision though, you mentioned it's bittersweet. Is there a sense of like relief? Is there a weight off your shoulders now that you can just be Katie Dinnebier?
Honestly, yeah. College athletics, it's exhausting mentally, physically. So rewarding at the same time. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't trade my experience for the world, but it's hard. It's really hard and it's very time consuming. Athletics in general are really hard, really time consuming. And again, I would not be the person I am today without athletics. And I love basketball and I love being a competitive athlete. I'm a competitor at heart. Um, but yeah, I think especially today with social media, it's hard to stay off social media and you have people telling you what you should do, what they expect of you too, and kind of excited to just be a regular person, regular person and just kind of fit in with the world, and also indulge into my professional career.
But now there's also like a guy like me, and I'm sure people on social media, it sounds pretty crazy to go, no, I don't want to play professional basketball. I want
Yep.
to stay in school.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've gotten a lot of those comments over the past 2 days. And even no making the decision, there was not a single person that told me, go do school. Go do school. I mean, everyone was like, hey, you have this opportunity. Why would you pass it up? You know? And to me, I think just deep down, I really like school. I really like school, and that's my answer. There's no other answer to that, and I think it's so important too. I think it's just expected that if you have success in college, that you'll go play professionally, and that's great for some people, and for others, it's okay to go finish school. It's okay to do what you want to do. It's okay if it's the end of your journey. And I think that was something that I was proud of myself that I was able to make that decision because I wanted to do school for me. And it was a decision that I made that will make me happy.
Yeah, kudos to you, because I don't think many people could have done that, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I appreciate that.
Because I think there's a lot of pressure, like you
Yeah.
said, of when you have success, when you've won, your conference player of the year 2 straight years, that you're expected to keep this going forward. And so that's pretty cool. I mean, was there anyone though close to your family like, Okay, come on. Now, are you gonna double think this one?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Even my mom, she's so supportive in anything that I do, and she would not tell me to make a decision either way. Even after I made my decision, are you sure this is what you really want to do? Yes, I think so. I think no matter what decision I would have made, there would always be the what ifs. And that goes for any decision that you have in life. There's always what ifs. What if I would have done this? What if I would have done that? But some point you got to make a decision and you got to be happy with the decision that you made.
So, with school, how many years left do you have?
I have 2 more years of pharmacy school after
Two
this
more
year.
years.
Yep. So one more in the classroom, and then my last year, my fourth year of pharmacy school will be all rotations.
Is it always like that? I don't know the pharmacy school. Okay, because I didn't know
Yep.
if that was just with you being a student athlete, if you're not able to hit the classes as expected,
Yeah.
but you were able to do that and win conference titles?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I'm super thankful for Drake too, because I feel like at a lot of other schools, they would have said no. You're not able to
Really?
do this degree. We're not going to allow you to do a doctorate program because it's nuts. And they allowed Courtney Becker and I both to pursue our doctorate and play basketball. And that's what's so special about our program too, is that they prioritize academics. We have a lot of smart girls on our team. We have pre-med, uh, pre pharmacy. You have a lot of people that are pursuing doctorate programs, and they're allowing us to do that while we're still playing basketball, which I think is super special.
I didn't realize Courtney was in the same program. That has to make it easier too, in a way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's nice to see that someone was able to do it. And I'm like, if Courtney can do it, then I can do it too.
I mean, was there more pressure with the schoolwork on top of playing basketball than, I mean, going up to just do a regular free throw, late in a game? Were you like, this is easy? I've had to write 5 essays before this game, anyways.
Yeah, I think crediting basketball, we're all super busy, been super busy our whole lives, being in the gym and having to manage. It's not the same in high school, but having to manage basketball and practices and then being in school as well. So I would say just because I was so busy with athletics, I had to manage my time. So it came kind of naturally and I was able to fit in schoolwork. I think any of my teammates would say the same thing. It's just something that we've kind of grown used to. So yeah, pharmacy school is taxing, it's demanding, but I don't know. It's just like taking any other class. You have to make time for it. And I think we're blessed with basketball because we have to make time.
So now with this decision, when was the last time you didn't play competitive basketball?
Well, I started playing basketball in fourth grade and probably
Probably
since
since
then.
then.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
it's crazy. I mean, it's so crazy because you work your whole life to be
Yeah.
a college athlete, and that's everyone's dream. And then just one day you're done. You're done, and everything you work for, it's not out the window, but yeah,
Just the next step.
it's the next step. Yeah, it's the next chapter.
Did Coach Pullman try to keep you on as a coaching assistant or anything like that?
That was an opportunity for me if I wanted to, and we had talked about that previously, and I'm not planning on it at the moment. Again, I'm excited to be a normal student and to just have some free time to myself and to find new hobbies and to start that next chapter.
Is that anything in the future that you would interest you? Because I mean, you see Hittner
Yeah.
being an assistant coach at Drake. Is that anything that interests you?
I definitely don't want to close the door on basketball. I would love to do. I've already been in talks with a couple organizations about doing another camp this summer or doing private lessons in the summer as well. So definitely open to coaching, and that will most likely be in my future plans. So yeah, to be determined. But yeah, I'm not ready to close that door yet. And I've talked to Allison about coming back and being a practice squad player whenever they need me. So I'll be around Drake a lot and still involved with basketball, hopefully.
Is it weird when you have a moment like this of, man, it's over? Is it weird then to watch games on TV or watch the news, anything like that? Does it feel weird does it not bother you?
Honestly, I don't think it's hit me yet. I think it'll hit me when our younger girls start going back to practice and I'm doing whatever studying, and they're on the court. I think that's when it'll hit me, but it honestly hasn't hit me yet. So I don't know. I feel like I'm in a weird limbo if I have a lot of free time, but it hasn't hit me that I won't go back to practice again. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna forget to reset an alarm and something's
Yeah,
gonna light up and you're gonna be like, oh, I missed
exactly.
practice.
I know. I keep checking the practice calendar, waiting for them to put the postseason schedule in, but I don't need to.
Was Yeah, how long did you guys usually get a break? Like when the season was over, when you lost your last game, how
Yeah.
long did you usually get?
There's a mandatory 2 weeks off per the
Okay.
NCAA. Usually we get about 3 weeks off, and I think they start practice next week. So 3 weeks usually off after season.
Gotcha. And
Yep.
then, so I do want to talk about, though, just your career at Drake, too. It's not all just going to be about this decision, I
That's
promise.
good.
But I'm sure you've answered enough questions about that. But this season, your final year at Drake was historic. I mean, you averaged 23 points a game, you had 5 rebounds, 7 assists, one player of the year, second straight season, All American honorable mention. The list just goes on and on. Just what clicked this season for you? We've seen you play at an extremely high level since you came to Drake, but this year, I mean, it was something fans hadn't seen before.
Yeah, I think it was a mentality shift for me, honestly, after the first couple games of the year. Wasn't exactly going how I wanted to, was struggling from deep, was struggling to shoot the ball and get shots off. And I finally had that mentality shift of, Katie, you've worked so hard. You've worked so hard. You know how to play basketball. Just let it fly. Good things will happen. Trust in yourself and trust in your basketball skills that you've worked your whole life for. And when I started playing with that mentality, things started to click. And I think sometimes we get so caught up, especially being a point guard, of overanalyze everything that you're doing, every pass that you make, every shot that you make, and really kind of staying in the last play mentality and not drop kicking and moving on to the next play. And that was a mentality shift that I had after the first couple games this season. I think it just flourished throughout the rest of the season. But I have great teammates. I had a great coaching staff that I was surrounded by. Can't get assists unless your teammates are making baskets, and they're the ones that are setting me up on the offensive end too. Coaches are calling plays, so I think we really just had an overall really good staff, really good group of girls on and off the court, and that I attribute a lot of that to my success this year.
And you mentioned how, in the early part, you were kind of in your head in a sense.
Yeah.
Do you think that was part of knowing it was your last year, or is that just kind of a funk you were going through?
Yeah, I think knowing it was my last year and you win player of the year once, then you're expected to do it again. So you have a lot of pressure going into that next season. And I think I held a lot of that on my shoulders and just needed to shake it and just play free and like I had nothing to lose, more than the mindset of having something to prove. And I think that was my mentality shift.
Was there something you would try to do to get out of those, you know, funks or try to, get that pressure off your shoulders for a little bit? Was there anything maybe non-basketball related in a sense that you would do?
I'd lean on my family and friends a lot. I would vent to them about whatever I was going through. But this is gonna be cliche, and you're probably gonna look at me like I was nuts. But I'd go on campus and I'd study, and I'd be able to forget about basketball. I'd write on my whiteboards and I'd memorize pharmacology. But that's really what did it for me. That was my escape when I wasn't able to escape basketball, and it allowed me to have a mental reset and also do something that I love.
I couldn't imagine doing science and math to try to get me out of a funk. That would just, oh my God. That just proves why I went to talk about sports as a major instead of
No,
that.
that's
But with all those accolades, I mean, this day and age in college basketball, NIL transfer portal is huge.
Yep.
Were there teams throughout your time at Drake that would reach out to you and try to get you to leave Des Moines? There was no teams reaching out to you.
None that reached out to me. So yeah, I had
Really?
no contact with any team and no interest in leaving. So
I figured you didn't have an interest of leaving, but I am absolutely shocked nobody tried to reach out to you.
nope.
Did that put a chip on your shoulder? Was that extra fuel in any sort of way?
Not really, no. I mean, I was totally content at Drake and I love being a part of the Drake program and the Drake culture, so didn't really put a chip on my shoulder, no. And honestly, I wouldn't have even considered leaving anyway, so um yeah, no. I don't think it put a chip on my shoulder. Mm-mm.
Were was there a point this season when there was WNBA scouts coming in and watching you? And do you remember kind of any sort of conversations with them?
Not in practices, no. Anything that was communicated was either communicated with our coaching staff or with our athletic training staff, um, not directly with me. So,
So,
yeah.
gotcha.
Yep.
And with these accolades that you had this season and just throughout your career, is there one that stands out to you? Is there one like that has a great story behind it, or one that you really, really wanted that you got? Just what are some of your favorites?
Uh, Tough question. They all mean a lot to me. I would say if I had to pick one, it'd be being named an All-American. That's something that not a lot of people get to say, and that's something I'll cherish forever. Um, Yeah, it's just so nice to see all your hard work pay off. Again, you work for so long for this lofty goal of being a college athlete, and then to finally see, like, okay, all the work and all the hours that I put into the gym extra, like, I did it for a reason and I did it, and people are recognizing that means a lot. It means a lot. And yeah, I would say the All-American one would be my greatest accomplishment.
You also played against some of the best that I've ever come across this state. And I'm going to list some of the names. And I
Yeah.
want to hear just if there's a story behind playing against them or what made them so unique when you're going up against them. And the
Yep.
first one is pretty clear. Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
Just, what was it like to play against her, unique stories, and what made her so unique?
She's a dog. And she has changed the game of basketball for not only the state of Iowa, for the whole country, for college basketball, for women's basketball, for the WNBA. I mean, she's brought so much publicity to the WNBA. It's insane. Revenue sales are up everywhere. Like the stuff that she has done is incredible. And I luckily had the opportunity to play against her not only in college, but in high school too. Um, Went to high school 15 minutes away from her. And again, she's a dog. That's how I would describe her. And like playing up against her, just was praying that I didn't get my ankles broke. That every game, that was my mentality. Like, just stay steady, Katie, stay steady. Um, she's an amazing player. She's an amazing player, and I've had so much fun watching her grow throughout her basketball career. She's someone I've looked up to for a really long time, and um, to even play against her has been really special.
The other name I have down here is Emily Ryan from Iowa State, one of the better point guards Iowa State has seen in their history. Just what was it like to go up against her as well?
She's also a phenomenal point guard. She's one of the smartest players I've ever played against. She always knows when to get her teammates open, when to take over the game. Has been super fun to follow her career at Iowa State. She's, I think, the leading assister at Iowa State. Correct me
Yep.
if I'm wrong. Just got that, so that's a super special accolade for her at a super high level program as well. She's a great player, and seems like a great person. So yeah,
And then the last one, I remember one of the last times we talked after a game
mhm,
was the UNI one, and Maya McDermott.
yeah,
She comes back for her fifth year. I remember we joked around a little bit of like, "Are you done playing against her?"
right.
But those matchups were some of the best.
Yeah.
They were so fun to watch.
Yeah, Maya's awesome. Maya, I remember, I think it was when she was in eighth grade, I was in seventh grade. She came and subbed for my travel team at the time. And I just remember thinking she had this lethal spin move, and I was like, oh my gosh, she is so good. She was so fast, faster than everyone, and she would carry our team. And to just see play against her in high school, and then obviously play against her for 4 years in college, and to see her success at UNI has been super cool too. I think our competitiveness is fun because we're able to be competitors on the court, but then friends off the court too. And I have so much respect for Maya, and it's been an honor to play against her.
Did you try to steal any of her moves, and did she try to steal any of your moves?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I wish I wish I could shoot the little floaters that she does. That would be amazing. I envy that. She seems to make the toughest shots in basketball. So yeah, kudos to her. I don't know how she gets those shots off. I wish I had that skill set.
Don't you? I mean, I feel like every time we'd watch a
The
game,
floaters, I don't
not the
know.
floaters,
Not my
but
thing.
man, you would drive to the hoop and you'd get tackled and still
Oh,
make layups.
sometimes. Sometimes.
But with, I mean, I put out a tweet earlier saying promoting this show and
Yeah.
promoting you coming on, and a lot of people just were ecstatic about having you as at Drake. They've watched you for 4 years grow, and you've been someone that's been great to the community. And a lot of people have mentioned they want to see your numbers and number in the rafter one day. Is
Yeah.
that something now that you kind of look up and go, maybe this could happen?
Maybe. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't make that decision. It would be an incredible honor. I think there's a couple players that are before my time that should be up there too. So those players need to go first. They need to get their names up there. Drake, I think, is so special because it has such a rich culture in not only men's basketball but women's basketball as well. And we've had phenomenal players that have came out of our program. And I would make a case that every player that I've played with at Drake or have watched played at Drake should be up there because we all contribute to this program equally and we're all phenomenal players.
But it has to make you feel pretty good that you made a lasting impact like that on the fans.
Yeah, it means the world. And I love our community. I love the fan base. I think it's been super special for me to be in my hometown and to be able to represent Drake. Have a lot of family and friends come to games. That's been something that's super special. But I love the connections that I've made here with the fans at Drake, going up and talking to everyone after the games. That's definitely one of my favorite traditions. So that'll be something that I'll miss a lot.
Huge shout out to Katie Dinnebier for joining us today. I'm sure she's exhausted from having to answer the same questions over and over again of why she didn't go pro and staying in school. And again, to normal people like you and me, we're sitting there going, how do you not go pro? But I seriously applaud her. She never, wavered under pressure on the basketball court, and she doesn't do it off it either. She sticks to what she wants to do, and that's pretty impressive for someone as young as her. So kudos to Katie Dinnebier. I know all of us are going to be cheering on you, whether it's on the basketball court or not. So happy you're sticking around in Des Moines for 2 more years. Before we wrap up today's show, though, I need to give a shout out to Kelly's Little Nipper, 1701 East Grand Avenue in Des Moines. Great food, great drinks, and better community. Go check them out and make sure to tell them Media Row sent you. And one last thing before we wrap up today. Did you guys see Tavion Banks announces he's transferring? That's a name we have said constantly since that loss to Texas Tech of, man, shocked this. He hasn't announced yet. What's going on? Is he waiting to hear who Drake's going to hire? I didn't feel like that was the reason. What's going on? He finally makes his announcement late Tuesday. And so Tavion Banks more than likely headed to Iowa because in his transfer portal, it said no contact. And that, of course, usually means that a player knows exactly where they're going. Bennett Sturts said the same thing. No contact, went to Iowa. It's a great grab for the Iowa Hawkeyes. I think Tavion Banks clearly proved he could play power 4 basketball in Wichita when he went up against bigger teams like Missouri and Texas Tech. He is one of the better players I think I watched in the past few years for Drake, and we've seen some incredible talent come across the Knapp Center floor, but he just really impressed me. His growth throughout the year could have easily been a starter anywhere else and won 6th man of the year in his conference. And I think him and McCollum have a special relationship where they don't need to communicate that much. I remember sitting there And we talked about this way back in January of how Darren DeVries never was animated and kind of just gave you that dad stare, and you knew what that meant. I think DJ Wilkins talked about it with us too. But with Tavion and with Coach McCollum, those two, I felt like watching from press row in the sideline, they never, Bennett was always the one that Coach communicated with the most, Mitch. And with Tavion, it was real quick. It's like they just got each other. They knew exactly what the other one was thinking and what the other one was going to say and what needed to improve on. And that's special. And so I think the Hawkeyes are getting a really talented player, someone I was shocked in announced their transfer earlier, but someone I really expected to. And so Tavion Banks, Bennett Sturts, now both headed to Iowa City. I would expect Isaiah Howard to be in that conversation here soon, but don't know for sure. I know he's in the transfer portal. Cale Combs is in the transfer portal. Cam Manuel as well. So really excited to see where those guys go. Does it suck as a Drake Bulldogs fan to see your guys leave? It does. But again, like we've said with the coaching change, it's just the life of a mid-major. It's the life of college basketball right now. And I'll never fault a basketball player, a 19 to 24-year-old, to want to go make more money. Wouldn't we all want to get a promotion and make more money? Absolutely. So really excited about the season ahead with Eric Henderson as the head coach, and excited to see what those guys do now that have transferred away and looking to play Power 4 basketball. So I think Bennett Sturts and Tavion Banks are two fantastic grabs and expected grabs if you're an Iowa Hawkeye fan. So that will do it for today's show. Once again, thank you so much to Katie Dinnebier for hopping on with us. And thank you to the listeners for sticking around, downloading, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. Make sure to keep it coming because it helps us out so much. And seriously, it's been growing week by week by week, and it's been fantastic to see. So I truly appreciate it. Keep it coming, and we'll see you Friday where we'll have a lot to preview. We'll have Final Four Friday, and we'll probably talk some more transfer portal because that news is going to get crazier and crazier as the year goes on. So we will see you Friday at 2 o'clock.